Hello everyone, this is Defense Politics Asia, and this is the summary for the day of 315 for the 4th of January. So let's start off with shooting downs of Russian aircraft. So the Ukrainian Air Force reported that they have shot down a Russian Sukhoi 25 over eastern Ukraine, and they also reported shooting down a Ka-52 attack helicopter over eastern Ukraine as well. So yeah, so there's no evidence or no any exact locations. There's no difference from the Russian Defense Ministry report. In case you are pro-Ukrainian and then you're trying to be hypocritical, yeah, I still reports what the Ukrainians say, despite I also didn't see evidence. So cannot be like that, right? Huh? Be nice. Oh, I wrote anyway. This is the wrong color. This should be pink. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. Okay, so coming down to the southern front, this one I have reported the day before. Actually, it's a Sukhoi 25, but on the Ukrainian side, getting shot down for Novopavlivka, which I mentioned that is a bit weird, and to have it there, I saw some information that the Ukrainians actually the Russians show themselves to be here. Syriac maps actually changed the entire border to give up this entire island to Ukraine. But then this island here, the Russians take it. No, so I'm not going to change anything because it's kind of pointless over here. Moving on to the Zaporizhzhia line. At the Zaporizhzhia line, we previously reported from the information from the Russian Defense Ministry that the Ukrainians attacked Druzba. So this one, I also mentioned that the Russian Defense Ministry seems to put the wrong oblast or wrong location, because they put Druzba as under Donetsk People's Republic, which is not possible. It's likely to be in the Zaporizhzhia one. Shelling was reported at Shevone near Huyaipo on the eastern side of Huyaipole, and that's all from the Zaporizhzhia line. Moving on to the Donetsk front. At the Donetsk front, we have shelling report coming from the Russian Defense Ministry at Novokrenka, Klishchiivka, as well as at Volodymyrivka. This was already reported yesterday, as I mentioned, because Russian Defense Ministry reports come at 12 noon. So as a result, it's half the day gone already. So that's why the information have to be reported as the day, which is yesterday. We really are not sure exactly which day does all this shelling actually happen. Is it on the 3rd or is it on the 4th? Over at the Marinka region, we have fighting reported at Marinka, according to the pro-Russian source, Ryba. They reportedly say that it is positional battles, but yet they also say that the motorized rifle unit pushed the enemy to the western outskirts of the city. So is this positional or is it a push? This sounds a bit contradicting to me. Over at Boyeda, the Ukrainian Defense Ministry reported fighting near Boyeda. Fighting is reported at Krasnohorivka as well, according to the Ukrainian Defense Ministry. As you will hear me repeat this many times, because you can see there's a lot of locations being mentioned by the Ukrainian Defense Ministry. Over at the Pisky region, we have a fighting reported at Nivelske, according to the Deep State UA, the pro-Ukrainian source. They say that the Russians are unsuccessful in their attempt to go to Nivelske because the bus is not working. So taxis are also not working as well. Internet is no good. They cannot take Uber, so they cannot get to Nivelske. There's fighting reported at Vodian, according to the Ukrainian Defense Ministry, and there is attack near or towards Siversk, which is actually we haven't seen this name being reported for probably a week already. So that's something. That's all from the Pisky region. And over at the New York region or the Edivka region, we didn't see any reports of fighting around here. And let's see, what else do I miss? Yesterday I mentioned there is a Ukrainian MiG-29 shot down over Kramatorsk. So that was already reported. Over at the Mayos, this is Mayos. In case you guys are not sure, this Mayos is actually this town here, which is actually not exactly written in English on the Google Maps. There is fighting reported towards Druzba. or near Mayosk, but to me it's actually always towards Druzba. There is a Ukrainian reinforcement arriving at Druzba here. One tank of the 3rd Battalion of the 28th Separate Mechanized Brigade. So just one tank. Yeah, the battles, for those that are not familiar, the battles are not like what you see in World War II. Definitely nothing like World War One. The battles are actually all very small. You are talking about squads versus squads, companies versus companies. The battles often will never get past 500 people on both sides combined. Usually will never get to that number. So the battles are all very localized and very small, in case you guys not sure. So one tank might sound like nothing, but it makes a lot of difference in a very small region here. As you can see, there's only just a few streets, sometimes just some residential area. One tank rolling down the road will create a lot of problems for a company of infantry. So just keep that in mind. Over at the Bakhmut front, this is the Bakhmut city. Bakhmut front, we have reports of fighting south of Klishchiivka. So according to the pro-Ukrainian source, Deep State UA, they reported that the attack on Klishchiivka is from the north, south, and east. So it's a semi-encirclement of sorts. So on the southern side, northern side, and on the eastern side. So it's all reported here on the map. So moving on to Bakhmut city itself, south of Bakhmut city, there's fighting reported at Opine, and there is fighting on the east of Bakhmut with pro-Russian sources saying that the Ukrainians actually launched an attack towards the Russian positions on the eastern outskirts. The Ukrainian Defense Ministry themselves reported fighting at Bakhmut. No details given as usual. According to Deep State UA, interestingly, the pro-Ukrainian source reported that the Russians captured some buildings within the Bakhmut forest. So the Bakhmut forest is actually here in the northeastern part of the city, and the only one of the very few buildings I can really see is actually this. So there's a high chance that this is the buildings that is captured by the Russian forces, because the last time we saw any changes in the front line here is by Surya maps, which he already mapped it until this point, this line here. Maybe I should draw it out. This line here. So which is why capturing of the building sounds like a natural progression from the front line, which is why this blue mapping here, the front line of the Ukrainian side, is actually pushed backwards in reflection of this new reality. In the northern part of Bakhmut, we see fighting at Pihorodne as well as at Krasnohora. The Pihorodne is both is reported also by the Ukrainian Defense Ministry, but I already written the one from Ryba, so which is why there's no need for me to duplicate the information again. So according to Ryba, which gave a lot more information, they said that the Russian forces advanced in Pihorodne and forced out the 1st Special Forces. And the 1st and 2nd Combined Battalion of the 17th Brigade and the 60th Brigade of the Ukrainians also pushed from their position on the outskirts of Krasnohora. So if you were to believe the pro-Russian source, it sounds like the Russians are indeed pushing back the Ukrainian defenders around this northern part of Bakhmut city. Fighting is reported at Soledar. So there is some indication from the intel suggesting that the Russians are pushing forward, other than just capturing or moving towards this railway station region. They are reportedly pushing or moving towards in the direction of the salt mine. And according to some sources, they say that the salt mine have a lot of tunnels, and this created a lot of problems for the Russian forces, because the Ukrainians can pop up everywhere like a Viet Cong in the Vietnam War. That I would just say, take it with a pinch of salt, because the last time we hear that was in Mariupol, and nothing of this kind of thing seemed to have happened. Over at Siversk, at the Siversk front, there is fighting reported at Vasily as well as at Bilohorivka. the Russian Defense Ministry's report previously said that there was a Ukrainian recon attacking Bilohorivka, which might actually be on the 3rd. So on the 4th is the Ukrainian Defense Ministry reporting that the Russians are attacking. We see the return of the name Vimka, which is here, where the Ukrainian Defense Ministry reported fighting off Russians there. Further in the north, we have the Ukrainian attack near Siversk, according to the Russian Defense Ministry in yesterday's report, and over into the Kreminna front. So we are now off the Siversk front. We cross the river at the Donetsk river here. This is the Donetsk river. We're moving into the Kreminna front. This is Kreminna city. We have Ukrainian attacking towards Kreminna, as well as at south of Druzba. There is fighting reported there, with the Ukrainians actually moving towards Druzba as well. The word they use is actually creeping, according to AZ military, which means that the fight is probably very heavy for the Ukrainians to not able to push quickly. There is a shelling report by the Russian Defense Ministry the day before, as well as at Druzba. So might be happen on the 3rd. Then, according to the same report, the Russians are attacking west of Druzba, as well as west of Shevno-Popivka. And further up north, we have Ukrainian recon actions in Nevsky. According to the Russian Defense Ministry yesterday, the same thing happened at Novovodyan. The Ukrainian Defense Ministry report fighting at Klishchiivka. So in case you guys are lost already, it's here. Klishchiivka is here. This Kreminna. Yeah. So a lot of left right action. Moving on to Svatove front. This is Svatove city. At the on the southwest, northwest of Svatove. The Ukrainian Defense Ministry reported fighting at Kreminna. And further up north, based on reports from yesterday, we have shelling at Berestove, according to the Russian Defense Ministry, Klishchiivka, as well as at Sinkivka. Pro-Russian sources now reports that there is reinforcement coming at Sinkivka, according to Ryba, at Kopians, as well as at Dvorichna. These reinforcements are the 67 Mechanized Brigade, created with the nationalists of the right sector. So these are right sector troops. And finally, we have shelling reported at Dvorichna. And that's about it. So that's probably everything, I guess. So anyway, this is the summary for the day of 315 for the 4th of January. For those looking for this map, yeah, please check out the Patreon or the coffee in the link in the description. That's how you can get access to this. You have to pay for it, unfortunately. And please press the subscribe button. Please press the like button. That will help to spread these reports to more new viewers. And I'll see you in the next update.